At the selling pressure today, the VIX tried to get traction back up, went up towards the 50 period, the green line right there, but turned down off of it. We closed down 1.77% lower, 0.77% lower, and we ended up closing right around just under 12 and a quarter. If we're going to have volatility return, the VIX has got to get back above the 50-day moving average. So far, it's not been able to do that. Again, it's made a series of higher lows above this level. While the S&P went higher, we'll be watching to see, does the S&P's high hold? The S&P sells off. The MACD here on the VIX has got to go into positive territory. It's holding just under the center line, a crossover. So we'll be watching, do we rally with Powell or do we sell off with Powell? Do we rally and get a lower high with Powell, or do we go higher, Powell or the FOMC minutes above the PCE peak? Please support the channel with the link directly below that allows me to be able to provide you this information. If you like the indicators, if you like the charts, let me know that by supporting the channel. If you take a moment to do that, I would really, really appreciate it. I don't have any sponsors, just a direct relationship with you. Just put it all out there for free. Ask that you help out as you can. If you could take a moment to do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your consideration for that. Again, momentum signals have been turning on NASDAQ, but not all of them have turned. Starting to see some momentum signals turn on the S&P, but again, not all of them have turned. Swing trend signals remain bullish. Watching to see if we'll confirm the candlestick there from the PCE sell-off, the gap and trap on the intraday charts. Try to rally back up to the upper channel lines I've been talking about in every single video on the 60-minute chart. Here, momentum signal, the momentum line, still bearish, means we're either going sideways or down. If we're going sideways, if it goes back to bullish, we can get a rally with Powell. Break down and confirm the candlestick, start getting a bearish reversal of conditions. Then again, we can go down with that. Momentum line flipping is telling us we're either going sideways or down. That's what it's telling us. You got some sell signals here. We'll have to take out the cloud to get a reversal going. Now we're going sideways. And again, candlestick has now been confirmed here on NASDAQ or S&P daily today. If we confirm things, we start turning down, momentum's got to go negative. Again, the divergence may not be done yet. I talked about in the weekend, failed to get confirmation of the topping tail candlestick from Friday. Now the momentum line did go bearish for the S&P today, and we got a little sell signal there, but again, to see more signals turn bearish, not all the momentum signals are bearish. Have to confirm the candlestick. If the high is going to hold, we'll have to confirm the candlestick, stop making new highs. If we go higher, then the upper channel line I've been talking to you about in every single video comes into play there on the 60-minute chart. If we confirm the candlestick, you got to go negative here with momentum. And the bearish momentum line turning red is telling us we're either going sideways or we're now going down. If we're going sideways, again, it could still turn back up. If we try to exceed this high, then those channel lines that I've talked about come into play on the 60-minute charts you'll see in this video and showing you in every single video. Now here, momentum is still bullish for the S&P 500 cash. The trend is still bullish. Watching to see, and we did not confirm, again, the topping tail in this shooting star looking candlestick. It did not get confirmed. We tried to push below the low, but we did not remain there. We've got Powell speaking tomorrow. I'll be watching. Do we test that high or try to take it out? If we take it out, again, we go up to that upper boundary of the channel in the 60-minute time frame. Talked about both of those scenarios in great length and detail. Establish a lower high and then start confirming this thing here. We go up and hit that upper channel line on the 60-minute chart. S&P daily here, momentum here, and the trend still bullish. Momentum for the NASDAQ here, still bullish, but flatlined. Again, we had a topping tail. I'm watching to see if we'll confirm that. We got a rebound back up. Got to be watching. Do we sell off and does this high hold, or we go and try to move to the upper channel line on the 60-minute chart? But right now, momentum here and the trend still bullish. NASDAQ 100 daily chart. Now, I told you we have a tail and we turned off of this trend line right here, but the candlestick means nothing unless it is confirmed and we get a follow through. We turned off of this trend line right here. Again, the candlestick is not confirmed. We can still go up and hit the upper boundary here or test this trend line again Talked about two scenarios over the weekend. One where we go up and we hit the upper channel line. The other one is that we end up getting a lower high, and this is confirmed. Stop making new highs. I talked about both of those scenarios over the weekend, watching to see which one will play out. Again, the candlestick, if it's going to play out, it has to be confirmed. It was not. We tried to do it on an intraday basis, but it was not confirmed. Bounced off the 10-period moving average. We have a divergence here. Again, it may not be done. As I've said, the awesome oscillator still may turn back up and turn green. We're watching to see which scenario will play out, but I do think that one of those two scenarios likely cause the diversions in the weekly time frame to go ahead and form. So I told you again over the weekend, this may be the top if it is confirmed. It's not been confirmed, and we didn't break the trend line. We're not getting a reversal of conditions. We are seeing some momentum signals turn bearish, but not all momentum signals. We're not getting a reversal of conditions on the S&P. We tried to do it on an intraday basis. I'll show you that chart. Got the MACD rolling over there on Friday. Still the possibility it forms a divergence, as I talked about over the weekend. So we're looking for clues. Is the high here going to hold at this trend line, or is it not? No confirmation today. And if we go back up and get the scenario where we go back up and we hit the upper channel line, which would be this trend line right here on the rising wedge in the daily time frame, but I have channels in the 60-minute time frame. Or if we go back and flirt with this trend line, still may not be done with this divergence. May still get that green awesome oscillator bar that I've talked about in the daily time frame. Again, I think the divergence in the weekly time frame is getting ready to play out. How will it play out? Will it play out with this topping tail being confirmed and a reversal starting? Or again, do we dance around these highs a little bit more and flirt with new highs before it happens and hit that upper channel line I've been talking about in the weekly or in the 60-minute time frames? Tomorrow during the market session, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking during the session. The next day we'll have private payrolls. And later in the day, the FOMC minutes. Today we got the ISM manufacturing data holding below 50, which is a contraction. Market will be closed for Independence Day on the 4th of July, and then Friday we will get the jobs report. The unemployment rate is expected to hold steady at 4%, and we're expected to see 200,000 jobs created, non-farm payrolls. We got that stronger number, 272,000 in the previous month. We're going to be watching to see if that is revised downward, as the Labor Department usually does. Overestimate jobs, and then they revise it down quietly later when nobody's looking. People just get the, look at the headline report there. It's what's reported. Number revised down later when nobody's looking. Continue to get these fake numbers out of the Labor Department over and over and over again, and it's every single month. It's just to the point of, getting to the point of being ridiculous. And either incompetent or they're purposely doing it and feeding us fake numbers, one or the other. But nevertheless, it is what it is. But the number is supposed to be 200,000. We'll be watching. If we sell off by the end of the week, either with Powell or the FOMC or the jobs report, minutes, I should say. So just some things to be aware of. Light trading volume. Again, there could be manipulation up or down or both for the weekends. We're going to have a very, very light trading week here. A lot of people are already gone. Do keep that in mind. Now, same thing I talked about with the Nasdaq. Again, two possibilities that the topping tail is confirmed and we start validating it here in the daily time frame. We tried to today, but we did not. We got a bottoming tail. We have back-to-back bars. But if we go higher, it could also be an inverted hammer followed by a hammer, but a shooting star followed by a hanging man. Again, it really depends on which way we break. Do we go to the upside or do we go to the downside? The upside, I've been talking about the upper channel lines, the 60-minute charts. Is the divergence done here with this peak? Does that high hold? Or do we go up and flirt with this level a little more or even go higher? Again, I've talked about weekend, the possibility that this may be a peak, but it's to be validated as a reversal with the topping tail. We got the shooting star candlestick. It wasn't validated. Did you hear what I just said? It was not validated. So there's still the possibility with the bottoming till we got today. Again, we would still go higher. Momentum signals, a lot of indicators turn bearish, but other ones are still not. The trend signals are still bullish. We dropped below these 10-period moving averages on both the S&P and Nasdaq, the red line there, and we got back above them, and we got a bottoming tail there on daily chart today. Could be back-to-back bearish candlesticks if you have a little miniature double top here and it gets confirmation, but it did not get confirmation yet. It still may, but there's still the possibility. Still going to the upper channel lines that I've talked about on the 60-minute charts. Is the diversions done yet? And again, bouncing off the cloud here, the momentum cloud, and take a look. While we've seen some momentum signals flip, we haven't gotten a reversal of conditions here in the daily time frame. This is the Nasdaq daily chart. I talked to you about the possibility that we still may see green bars form and form a divergence here before all is said and done. Maybe even on the MACD. The RSI did complete a divergence with the reversal bar that we got on Friday with the PCE inflation data. That bar has not been confirmed. Divergence may not yet be done, as I talked about. I said it may mark a top if we start seeing weakness, reversal of conditions and confirmation and so forth. We tried to get it on an intraday basis and we couldn't do it. We closed above the cloud here. On an intraday basis, we had pushed below it. We'd started to get it, flipping, and we closed below the lower boundary of the cloud. It flips to red. Do that. So again, and we don't even have to get green. You may just see bars kind of tick back up and still remain red, but still form a better defined divergence. So what I'm watching for right now is our rally back up. Is it going to give us a lower high? And then we'll see things confirmed maybe with Powell or the FOMC minutes or later on with the jobs report. We go to new highs, Powell and the FOMC minutes, sell off at the jobs report if this high cannot hold. And again, candlestick, as I keep saying, is meaningless unless it is confirmed. Candlesticks have to be confirmed. That's all there is to it. Now we need to be watching. Will the topping tail be confirmed? Will we stop making new highs here for NASDAQ? Back-to-back bearish candlesticks, a topping tail and a hanging man that will be confirmed, or are we going sideways and we're going to, again, try to go to that upper channel line on the 60-minute time frame that I've been showing you in every single video on those 60-minute charts. So we'll be watching to see what happens here. Again, momentum has turned on some signals. Momentum here is still bullish for the NASDAQ. We haven't seen a bearish reversal of conditions. Red bars, red cloud, haven't seen it. Attempted it today, it failed. Now, we did drop below the green dots right here, and the dots of resistance so far have halted the rebound back up. That gave us that topping tail there on Friday. So again, we'll be watching to see if a better defined divergence ends up happening here or not. And again, we've got those bearish back-to-back candlesticks in the weekly time frame as well. So do keep that in mind. Watching, do we stop making new highs or not? Candlesticks in the weekly time frame have to be confirmed as well. Again, we have back-to-back candlesticks. We had the gravestone doji spinning top looking candlestick last week. And again, we'll be watching to see what happens. We'll have this divergence here going on in the weekly time frame and down here on the MACD and on the oscillator. We'll see if we get a red bar this week, next week. Watching the candlesticks to see if we just set up a lower high and last week's high holds. We start a reversal later in the week. Will we confirm those candlesticks back-to-back reversal bars? NASDAQ weekly chart here. The exact same thing with the S&P. Now, we've had 2 weeks where we have started to get red bars, but by the end of the week, we closed with a green bar. We'll see. We start with the green bar this week. Does it end with a red bar? Again, we got that doji candlestick. And before that, the week before that, we had a shooting star candlestick. A little hard to see here, but you can see it much better on SPY. So again, you've got this negative divergence going on with the MACD and on the oscillator. We'll be watching to see if we confirm the candlesticks in the weekly time frame, confirm the candlestick in the daily time frame. Will that topping tail from Friday hold with the reversal bar? You know, we gapped higher, then we continued to go higher. We got a topping tail and we began to reverse. Had 5.5 hours of straight selling there on Friday. with the good PCE data, watching to see if those topping tails hold or not. Now, same thing here on the S&P daily chart. We got the topping tail, didn't get confirmed. We tried to take out the lower boundary of the cloud today, and we could not do it. And then we closed back above the 10-period moving average. Again, I'll be watching, does this high hold or not? Do we just rebound and get a lower high and then get the reversal of conditions? Do we get any green here, or does it just kind of remain red and start going into negative territory? Or do we turn up here on the oscillator and MACD and get a divergence in the most recent price action? Out either way, and again, that's why I've been showing you those channels every single video. We've been looking at those channels in the 60-minute time frame. But again, as I said, we may have a peak here and not reach those levels if this candlestick is confirmed and we start seeing signals all begin to turn bearish. Some momentum signals have, others have not, like right here with the cloud, with the bearish reversal of conditions. We still have a bullish reversal of conditions, still a green cloud. S&P daily right here. Again, here I'll be watching the cloud on these daily charts. I'll be watching to see if we hold above the 10-period moving average or not. That's the red line. I'll be watching to see, do we get any green here? Does it remain red and we start going lower? I'll be watching to see what happens. Do we get green or do we not get green? Do we get red here with the cloud or do we remain green? Again, the divergence may be done. You have a lower high here. We have a higher high. It may be done if we just keep going lower, if we start getting the reversal of conditions and confirming the candlestick. But today we did not do that. The jury is still out on if that candlestick is going to get confirmed or not. If it doesn't, then it is a meaningless topping tail. It is confirmed. We have a little miniature double top on our hands, as I've talked about here over the weekend. A little bit later in the video, I'll be showing you these channel lines that I've been showing you in every single video. Again, if we're done, we've got to turn down and confirm in the daily candlestick. If we're not done, then these upper channel lines could still be tested. I'm watching. See if we stop making new highs. I'll be talking about these 60-minute charts, the S&P and Nasdaq, shortly. We have the divergences on the oscillator MACD, but we've got it here on the RSI in these weekly time frames. Again, here I've got the rising wedge pattern. Told you over and over again, we may consolidate near the highs as we did back over here, sold off and then consolidated some more in a larger consolidation, bearish consolidation before we got the dump. You can see something like that. Over here we had a bearish consolidation before we got the 8% sell-off. And again, if we do see that, if we do begin to see the sell-off, you've got the possibility of these head and shoulder patterns. You come back here, you break this trend line, you got the possibility of back testing it and forming a head and shoulders on Nasdaq and S&P. Watching, we have back-to-back bearish candlesticks on both Nasdaq and S&P. Right here, Nasdaq, we have back-to-back bearish candlesticks. Okay, I told you we could rally back up, get a lower high, and still sell off, or even go back up and try to challenge the high and move to the upper channel lines on those 60-minute charts, as I'm showing you in this video, and I keep showing you in every single video. It's possible that this is a peak right here, that the high does hold if we begin to sell off by the end of the week and to confirm this candlestick, or do it next week and establish a lower high. It is also possible that if it's not confirmed, confirm the candlesticks in the daily time frame with the PCE rally that created the gap and trap. Possible we go up to those upper channel lines as I've talked about. So do we get a lower high here and sell off with Powell in the FOMC minutes, or rally with Powell and sell off with the FOMC minutes, or rally with Powell and FOMC minutes to new highs? Those upper channel lines. That's what I'm watching about. I'm talking to you about both of those scenarios. Again, I talked about this may be a peak if we establish a lower high. Watching, do we sell off with Powell? Do we rally with Powell? Same thing with the FOMC minutes. Their scenario is possible. So again, I'm watching closely. But candlesticks, again, they're meaningless unless they're confirmed. But we do have possible back-to-back reversal bars here. Will we close below this low by the end of the week or not? Or again, maybe get another reversal bar, just continue to kind of do the side step, maybe go a little higher, but go sideways as we did here before we got the reversal. Nasdaq weekly chart. Wait, this is the log scaling with our rising wedge. The linear scaling here, and it's more of a channel. Again, if we just connect the peak here and the peak that we had last week, again, you've got a fairly nice looking channel here. And the divergences continue to loom over the weekly charts. Again, I continue to talk about the divergences in these weekly time frames. Again, here it is on the S&P. I told you it may or may not be done. If the high holds, start confirming the weekly candlestick, then it's likely done. If we don't, then maybe it's not done. But again, it is going to conclude very soon if it has not already finished. Here it is up close, and you can see the divergence. And again, I've just drawn the parallel boundary excluding the shadow right here, and I'm watching to see, again, do we start a turn here? And in the upper boundary, going into the upper boundary of this channel, we have a rising wedge, longer term rising wedge. This is our linear scaling here. It's like the topping tails on NASDAQ. Here you can see it a little closer to S&P 500. Got the topping tail. We got a gravestone doji last week. I'll be watching to see if that high holds. Again, we could just go up, get a lower high, and turn down before the weekends. Keep that in mind. Could happen if we try to sell off with Powell or with the minutes or later with the jobs report. Short trading week manipulation, up or down, is very easily done. Again, we got this topping tail the previous week in the form of a shooting star, better seen on SPY. I bring up the S&P a little closer. You can see what I'm talking about. Again, the topping tail, a shooting star candlestick followed by another topping tail with the gravestone doji. We'll see what the candlestick looks like this week. We'll see if this high holds or not. Again, do we just go up here, get a lower high, and start turning down, or do we go up and challenge the upper boundary? And if we do, again, those upper lines on the 60-minute charts showing you again in this video could be tested. And it's possible we have a top with back-to-back reversal bars here, but candlesticks have to be confirmed, as I've said, or they're meaningless. We'll see if they get confirmed this week. Does the rally with the PCE data hold as a high or not? Now again, S&P and Nasdaq moved to higher highs and got a reversal 5.5 hours of straight selling there on Friday with the gap and trap on the intraday charts with the PCE data. I'm watching to see, is that a short-term peak or do we get something bigger? The candlesticks in the daily time frame were not confirmed. We firmed up here with momentum with today's rally. We went back a little bit lower and we had sold off, but we ended positive. We bounced off of the support and resistance line. Watching to see what happens here. Does this high hold right here? Do we get a lower high and start turning down, or do we still try to go up to these upper channel lines that I've talked about at great length and detail, still trying to go higher, and that would form the green bars in all likelihood on the awesome oscillators in the daily time frame that I've been talking about. So again, I told you we had topping tails on the daily. We had topping tails here on the 60-minute time frame. Those were confirmed with the gap and trap, but the daily charts have not validated it, and now we're turning up with momentum. If we continue to turn up, you can rally. If this thing fails and it turns back down, or we can't move above this high, then again, the possibility that the diversion's completed here increases. If we set up a lower high and start turning down, then the odds start increasing. We're going to come back and take out this low. And a little miniature double top, possibly on NASDAQ, or again, consolidation still takes us up to our upper channel line. Remember, the swing trend signals still remain bullish. Some momentum signals are bearish. We don't have a bearish reversal of conditions yet. Watching to see what happens with those topping tails and the topping tails in the weekly time frame. Firming up right here on the 60-minute chart for the NASDAQ. I'm talking about these channel lines in every single video to see if we reach them or if we fall short of them. This is the NASDAQ 60-minute chart up close. I just wanted to show you again, we had this divergence. We went slightly higher over here, got this topping tail. Okay, we confirmed the topping tails in the 60-minute time frame, and again, we had a gap and trap on an intraday basis, continued the selling early on here, and then rebounded here on NASDAQ. So I'm watching to see, does this high hold right here, or do we get a lower high and then come back down? Do we come back down and take out this level? Does this peak hold? That's what I'll be watching. We have a divergence. Maybe we get another reference point. We'll see what happens. This fails to be confirmed in the daily time frame as a topping tail. the sell-off that we had here, we could still go up to the upper channel line that I've been talking about in every single video. Zoom out on NASDAQ, this is what it looks like. Again, we have the diversions right here. Again, it may be we get another reference point and still form a divergence or even start a new one if we try to go up to this channel line right here. I've been watching this channel line, which is parallel to this lower boundary, these lows back over here. We've reached this level here, and again, that may be it, but it still might be that we still try to go up to those levels and still not be done with the diversions or in the daily time frame as I've been talking about. Do we rally with Powell? Do we sell off with Powell tomorrow? The FOMC minutes, again, the day before the 4th of July on the 3rd. Watching those two things. We do rally, then do we sell off later with the jobs report? Again, light volume, manipulation up or down this week, very easily done this week. So we'll be watching, but we do have a divergence. Is it done yet? Same is true on the MACD. We had a divergence, but we're trying to firm up here. And again, we're getting back above the 50-period moving average here on NASDAQ 60-minute chart. Again, been showing you these channels in every single video. The blue trend line from the two lows back over here and the boundary here connected to the boundary here that's directly overhead. The red one is from this low to this low right here. And again, that would be a little bit higher that we go up to that level. Again, we reached extremes here with momentum and we firmed back up. So again, could try to rally with Powell. If we do we try to take out this high? You had a divergence here. So far, it's just taken us back to support. We hit support here. We went to a new high and we came back to support here. And again, while we're seeing some momentum signals turn bearish, we don't have a bearish reversal of conditions yet. Signals are still bullish. Some momentum signals are bearish, others are still bullish. So I'm watching, do we start breaking down here with Powell, or do we start bouncing and challenging this high, or maybe get a lower high and then turn? We'll be watching. Remember, with the PCE data, we rallied higher, but then we had 5.5 hours of straight selling. You know, do we see something like that with Powell? Do we rally and then get a lower high and sell off, or do we make our way up to one of these trend lines that I've been talking about in every single video? Nevertheless, again, the pullback from the PCE data and lows of the session today have taken us down to extremes, and we've turned back up. We'll see if we can try to rally with Powell, and like I said, possible we have the peak in, but it's possible we don't. That's why I keep showing you these channels. Talked about over the weekend, we may have the top end here. You got to confirm it with the candlestick reversal and signals turning bearish, and we don't have that yet. Here it is on the RSI, and again, we're kind of stalling at the momentum line, the momentum cloud. We start clearing these levels, and you can get your lower high, or you can go up and again challenge these trend lines right here. Tag them again, I should say. Tag the blue one. We tried to go as high as the red one here. But again, I think the blue channel, if we do exceed this level, will come into play here. And we've had the divergence. The divergence pleaded with the PCE data right there. It may not be done yet, and we'll be watching. Do we go up and get one more tag of that trend line and then turn down? Do we get a big rally? Because we're not seeing those candlesticks confirmed in the daily time frame. Watching. Here, you've had the divergence. Again, do we go back up here? Try to push higher and again form a multiple point divergence, and get something that looks like that maybe if we try to go up here and hit that blue line. Watching topping tail from the PCE data just give us a pullback, and then we're going to go up and hit these levels, or it will give us a reversal. Here's the S&P 500 up close. Again, here's our topping tail from the PCE data. The 5.5 hours of straight selling went down lower today, back to test horizontal support here. Rallied back up. We halted at the momentum line and the momentum cloud. Start clearing those levels. 60-minute chart here. Then again, we could challenge this high for either a lower high or again a higher high. The upper channel line I showed you on the 60-minute chart. Here we're bouncing off of the trending cloud right here. And again, confirmation to the daily candlesticks today. No reversal of conditions on the daily charts. Remember, we had the S&P and Nasdaq move higher. The Dow did not. It still got this possible bear flag. We got another topping tail or candle of indecision, back-to-back, really spinning top. Today is a doji spinning top. We got a spinning top there. Friday, again, candles of indecision. Could be a reversal, could be a continuation. We'll be watching. Even if we go higher with the Dow, again, you still have a potential bear flag reversal. Double top pattern is still very much in play. And again, long-term trend line I've been showing you back 125 years on the Dow, signaling we are likely going to usher in the bear market. It's marked other turning points for bear markets. Good chance it's going to do it here. Does the Dow stop making new highs? Do we have a double top? Eventually come down and take out the confirmation line, this trough low between the two peaks. We'll be watching. CD turn back up. We got this rally back up to our Fibonacci's. We moved just to the 78.6 Fibonacci area, which I've talked about. Not seen on this chart, but we got above the 61.8 Fib, the 78.6 Fibonacci's on their Fibonacci's here with this charting program. I do not understand why anybody would do that. The 78.6 Fibonacci, extremely important, part of the golden pocket. The golden pocket is the 61.8 Fib to 78.6 Fibonacci. Very important Fibonacci levels. Often prices move to those two Fibonacci's. I can't understand why these guys won't put it on their program here. Absolutely a necessity for any Fibonacci retracements is the golden pocket. But we hit it, and again, this bear flag here for the Dow.